And one book that I read, and I loved it, and this is something that I try to do more of, but I think everyone is not the best at it, which is sleep. So
Yeah.
how much does sleep play into all of that? Because from what I've learned, at least sleep is probably one of the best cures that we could have, like for our bodies, making sure we get enough sleep to process in that way.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, sleep is critical. Really, it's critical for life and survival. When we think about longevity and improving your health span, not your lifespan, your health span, it's all about sleep. Takes center stage, because sleep is when you regenerate. And just on the point you mentioned before I dive into sleep, with functional medicine, or let's say integrative medicine, what we're looking at is the interface between biochemistry, physiology, and behavioral change. That's what we're trying to combine all three together, right? Because you can't have one without the other. And lifestyle medicine, as a result, takes a very big role, a very big part. So in my prescriptions, there's always, yes, there's the treatment part where we're correcting biochemistry, but there's the nutrition aspect, which is super important. Then there's the sleep component, there's the hydration element, and then there's the mental, spiritual wellness. So I'll often have breathing techniques, meditation, some creative exercises, spending time in nature. And I put more emphasis on these, and of course exercise, than I do on the supplementation. Like if you do all of this and you don't supplement, you're still going to get tremendous benefit, because we're trying to rewire the way your body is currently wired. Because most people, the body is wired in a state of compensation, right? It's compensating for an issue that occurred, and then you never moved away from that compensatory mechanism. And unfortunately, that compensatory mechanism is only designed to last for a short time. But when it's employed in the body for a very long time, it causes disease. And that's what happens when we have very low sleep. Now, sleep is so critical because it's when we regenerate, when we clean up our body and we regenerate. So for sleep to occur, you need to have very low levels of, almost zero levels of cortisol, and then a good deep amount of melatonin being released. Because melatonin not only helps you to fall asleep, but it also helps you to maintain sleep and go into that deep cycle of sleep.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's really critical. It also has many other effects. One of it is it's really one of the most potent antioxidants for the brain. It actually helps the brain detoxify at night, but most importantly, helps seal any holes that are in the blood-brain barrier that have been caused by inflammation or toxins or so on. So it's super critical. And it also helps the thyroid convert the hormone, the inactive hormone T4 into T3 early hours of the morning, so that it's ready to go in the body and set the metabolic rate for the day. So it's super important. There's lots of other functions for it, but these are the things. So when we drink coffee past 12 in the afternoon, what you end up doing is you end up affecting your sleep drive. You build your sleep drive during the day. And that's because coffee has a similar structure to adenosine, which helps build sleep drive. And it competes with that molecule. And as a result, you don't get that effective sleep build, and you have less melatonin being released. The second element is when we drink alcohol late at night. The problem with alcohol, I mean, it has many effects, but one of the things that is disruptive is that when you drink it, you disrupt the first sleep cycle, where you don't go into deep sleep. And as a result, you don't get to release growth hormone, which is your anti-aging hormone, which is necessary for muscle rebuild and brain function and so on. And so you get that first 70 minutes of your sleep. If it's not effective, then you lose on that powerful effect of the anti-aging hormone, of growth hormone being released. And then throughout your sleep, it's your gallbladder and your liver and your lymphatic system are most active during sleep. So the gallbladder is effective between 11 and 1, and the liver is most active between 1 and 3 a.m. And that's when the most impact of detoxification occurs. So I have a lot of patients who say, oh, I often wake up at 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. and I can't go back to sleep. What happens in that stage is actually they have a high toxic load in the body. And what the liver sends a signal to the brain to say, actually, I need more energy to be able to detoxify. So it releases cortisol. If it releases too much cortisol, you wake up, because cortisol is the wake up hormone. So often when, there's a lot of clues that you can get from people. And so if your liver doesn't detoxify you well, and it's not able to dump all of this stuff and get it through your elimination pathways, then what happens is you're functioning today on yesterday's waste. That's how you need to think about it.
Okay.
So sleep has a profound impact on your body as a whole, but also on your brain health, because then the brain detoxifies after the liver. So it's really that sweet spot between 3 and 5 a.m., right? Where you really go in, that's very restorative sleep. And your lymphatic system, which is the detox part of the blood circulatory system, 60% is active at night. Your lymphatic system, which is the brain's detox pathways, they're active at night. So when you don't sleep, you don't cleanse. And as a result, you're basically every day, you're carrying garbage and you're walking with it and you're wondering why you feel like crap. And that's the reason.
Yeah, yeah. Listening to your explanation, it's so interesting. And I'm just thinking about my own life. I'm like, oh, that's probably why I'm waking up at like 3 a.m. Okay, now it makes sense.
Yeah.
now I understand.